Now we got to find our media clip. Hey, buddy, how are you? It's Live Talk of Champions. This is my first one. Already off to a rousing start here because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But let's see if I can get the banner going. Look at there. Look at there. It's me and Bradley Sowell, former Ole Miss offensive lineman, 8-year NFL vet. A live edition of Talk of Champions. I'm Ben Garrett at Spirit, been on Twitter. Thanks to RiverLand Roofing, who powers everything we do. RiverlandRoofing.com, 662-644-4297. Brad, it's been a minute. We're coming together for a live edition, mainly because Jaxson Dart is now a New York Giant. Walter Nolen is now an Arizona Cardinal. But first and foremost, how are you? It's been a minute.
Good, man. Good. The first thought I had last night is as soon as they went in on the Jaxson Dart Star Wars theme on the drill. I don't know if you watched ESPN. I mean, my first thought was, man, Ben is a huge fan. Ben's a huge fan. It's the Star Wars thing threw me for a loop, but I'm super excited for the kid. I think he took a good route in the pre-draft process with just being I guess rave reviews and interviews. Everybody I talked to that was around it or knew him said he killed it in interviews. Super smart kid. On top of it, he's a kid in the SEC who won a bunch of ball games, right? Like sometimes all these kids are crapshoots, right? Like it's all going to be 50-50. But, sometimes, you go the pre-draft process and do what he did, and then on top of his film's pretty decent and, looks good in the workouts, looks good in the interviews. That's what people aren't realizing, man. They think these guys are just drafting these kids just off the whim. Man, there's an extensive process that goes into interviewing these kids. You put them on the whiteboard, you have them draw up plays. Like when somebody slips, there's something was seen, and it sounds like he did a great job finding a way to get himself in the first round. I don't think anybody would have thought, hey, Jaxson Dart's gonna be a first round. I thought we thought he was gonna get drafted, pre-draft. I think that everybody was thinking, hey, he could get drafted, going to get a chance in the NFL, but nobody was thinking, hey, he's going to be sure in that first rounder, and hell, he earned it. He went through the process. He played his cards right when some others probably didn't.
Yeah, it's a really cool story because obviously the Eli angle, he was drafted by the Chargers same day in 2004, so 21 years ago on April 24th by the Chargers, and then he and Archie forced the hand to the New York Giants. The rest is history. And now Jaxson Dart is following in his footsteps. And I was very appreciative, Brad, of Mel Kiper finally stepping away from his glazing of Shedeur Sanders all night to actually talk a little bit about Jaxson Dart. It was wild, man, because I felt bad for Cam Ward. They didn't even do the number one overall picks on stage interview because it was the Shedeur show on ESPN. And you might be wondering, Ben, why are you on ESPN? Well, I just go, Brad, with the password that I have access to, the thing I have access to, because all this stuff's so expensive now. And, yeah, I couldn't get over how Shedeur Sanders dominated everything, specifically because Mel Kiper wouldn't shut up. But I like the fit. It's weird. It's a weird fit. It's a cool Ole Miss connection. But, like, that quarterback room, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, and now Jaxson, I think we both would agree going to a place where he's going to sit for a year is probably the perfect thing for him. But wow, what a weird room and what a weird night to play second fiddle as the top two quarterbacks taken off the board, play second fiddle to Shedeur, who's still on the board.
Yeah, we'll touch on the Shedeur thing here, I'm sure, shortly. But no, great situation for Dart. To me, you couldn't put him in a better situation. I've obviously played with Russell Wilson for a whole season. Russell Wilson is the ultimate pro. He's a little corny, but he is the ultimate pro when it comes to that is going to be a good example for Jaxson Dart to see, because Russell Wilson, he's going to do all the extra stuff. He's totally a company guy. Dude, this dude works. That's one thing you cannot deny about him. He's an ultimate pro. So Jaxson Dart will get to see that side of it. And, Russell Wilson's a big study guy, big film guy. He's always up there extra. So Jaxson Dart will get to see a good role model. And I'm telling you, I just had this conversation earlier. He doesn't need to start right away. He doesn't. You let Russell Wilson kind of see what he can do. Russell Wilson's obviously in a one-year deal. He gets a chance to do something big and earn a contract himself. But it's a perfect situation. Now if the Giants start struggling mid-season, late season, then you throw him in there. But he don't need to throw a kid in there right away. Let him learn. Let him kind of come up to speed. And Dayball's offense is perfect for him. It's going to be a lot of quarterback friendly stuff. So I think it's a great situation. I think that You couldn't handpick a team better. And I think the Giants killed it in the first round. That DN they got's awesome. And I think Dart's going to a great situation. And one thing that people got to realize when it comes to getting drafted, it's all about the situation you get put in. Okay, if a team loves you and willing to make the offense about you and willing to give you time, it can work out. There's no guarantee, man. I'm telling you, there's been so many. Quarterback is by far the hardest position to pick out and look and say, hey, this guy is or isn't going to make it. You look at Brock Purdy. He's just in a great situation. That Kyle Shanahan offense is money for him. He's a great fit in that offense. Now, do you put Purdy somewhere else? Maybe the Ravens. He maybe not the same guy. But it's all about who will choose you, like you, be willing to invest in you, put the coaches around you, the players around you, design the offense for your strengths, for you to succeed. I mean, that's why all the time there will be a kid in this draft right now that nobody's talking about, quarterback wise or whatever, that will go and be a superstar in the NFL that he just got in the right situation. I mean, it happens. And I'm rooting for Dart, but it's a 50-50 chance. It's like that with everybody. It's the same way with Cam Ward, right? That may not work out. You see it every year. So what you're hoping is he gets in a good situation that fits him. They invest in him and it works out, and he'll get, he got some good money out of it. He's made some great money, and now it's up to him to go, go do it.
It is. And like I said, it's a clunky fit. Jameis makes no sense now as far as why they signed him. I guess they got desperate or wondering if Russ was going to go somewhere else. But Jaxson is obviously the quarterback in this draft, which it wasn't a great draft for quarterbacks, but it says more about Jaxson than anything else that he climbed in this pre-draft process to get to the first round. Now, the Giants had to trade back into the first round to come get him. The Rams were apparently ready to take Jaxson Dart at number 26 overall. That would have been an amazing fit. The Giants, though, it's a cool connection because of Eli. Only 3 first-round quarterbacks in Ole Miss football history in the NFL draft: Archie, Eli, and now Jaxson Dart. And that's pretty cool. So going there and following those footsteps, it's obviously something that a lot of Ole Miss fans are excited about. Walter Nolen going to the Arizona Cardinals at 16 overall, the first Rebel off the board. The last time the Arizona Cardinals drafted a defensive tackle from Ole Miss, it was Robert Kimdichie in 2016. That didn't end too well, but I think my man Walter is equipped to step in and play immediately. Hell, I wanted the Cowboys to take him at 12.
Yeah, now what Nolan's, man, that was he's going to be he's a good ball player. I think what he did at the Senior Bowl, just in talking to some people that were down there, they said he was, I don't want to throw Aaron Donald because Aaron Donald's a different world, a different level of player. But they said his Senior Bowl reminded a lot of guys of what Aaron Donald did. A little bit smaller D tackle, but had some crazy strength and quickness. Gave everybody fits down there. So I think he's going to be a steady, good ball player, kind of like he was at Ole Miss. I mean, and just a guy you can count on. I think he's just a safe pick. I mean, he's a great pick for the Cardinals, and that's why looking at the draft, that's the biggest thing, man. Just making that safe pick. The Giants could have stretched there at 3 and grabbed a quarterback or whatever, but man, you got a DN like Penn State. Draft the sure enough Pro Bowlers, and a guy like Walter Nolen could be in that conversation of, hey man, he's going to be a steady player for the next 8 to 9 years. You're not going to have to worry about him. Take that player. The more players you can get that are like that, the better your team's going to be. You can always figure out the quarterback. When GMs get in trouble is when they start stretching for picks. And they start trying to take risks, and sometimes it works out. It's just like a lottery ticket. Sometimes it works out, Patrick Mahomes or some of his others, but it doesn't always work out. When you stretch, you look at Zach Wilson, Mitch Trubisky, those
your
guys.
Guy, Mitch Trubisky.
I love Mitch. Mitch is a solid player. He just didn't work out for him like they wanted him to. So. And that was them stretching, giving up a bunch of stuff. Just take the damn good ball players right in front of you, and you can figure out quarterback. There's always a Brock Purdy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the kid from Ohio State. I think somebody who gets him is going to get a good ball player. I mean, he won at the highest level. He won a national championship. Let's stop overlooking those kind of kids. You can't tell me, especially we go back to the whole Shador thing. I mean, it's the same risk as taking the Ohio State kid, in my mind. I mean, it's not, you don't have to reach for those guys. And I mean, I like him more, but that's, to me, it's, who knows? He obviously can throw well, do all that stuff, but there's no guarantee. I mean, the Titans got a lot of work to do to build around him.
They do. And the Shador Sanders thing, before we move on any further, what do you think about him as a prospect? And what did you think about last night, how he became the story, even though, again, he wasn't at the draft. He wasn't widely expected to be QB2 off the board. The consensus is after Cam Ward, who knows when Jaxson or Shador, or if either, get off the board in the first round. Jaxson was going to go to the draft, decided to stay back in Utah, hang out with his family. He ends up going, and Shador on the other end of it. The whole Shador thing, I don't get it other than it's good TV, right? I mean, it's good TV.
That's the world we live in, man. We live in the clicks world. And so you look at a kid, and this is where it went back to in my mind. You look at a kid like Bronny James, right, who does not say a word, just a really good kid. And they've been, they did the same thing to him, and he wasn't saying anything. Imagine a kid like Shador who keeps, cocky, whatever, and keeps saying stuff. So it's just going to be multiplied. I mean, and that's just the world we live in. It's sad. Luckily, the Bronny kid, he was a little bit, he kind of got by it, started playing well. But that's, man, it sucks. It's his last name. I mean, he's thrown in the spotlight, and it really ain't gonna be no different. Hopefully, it works out for Arch next year when his time comes. But it's gonna be the same thing. They're gonna dig on those kids who have famous dads. And I think a lot of stuff with the Sanders is just, sometimes when you talk the noise, it's just one of those things, man, where people are gonna be looking for it. And I'm sure Shador I think Shador's a good player, solid player. But to go around talking top 5, all this stuff, I don't know. I don't know that that's the right thing for him, and he'll get his shot. I mean, he'll get a shot to do it. It's just, I hate seeing it. I don't know why we're talking about this kid so much when there's other kids that are getting drafted high that we should be highlighting. And it's not right or wrong. It's nothing against Shador. It's nothing against the Sanders family. I think that they're just magnifying it because of who he is. Because of who he is and who his dad is, and they're going along with it. I mean, and Dion is what he is. Dion's confident, and he's going to talk his shit, and so is the Sanders kid, and rightfully so. But the media they love to focus on the thing that, to me, it's just like, I mean, I don't even hardly even hear about Cam Ward getting drafted first last night. I mean, they didn't even. It was Shador's waiting in the back. Who gives a crap? The kids, all these kids are going to get an opportunity. When you get your opportunity, you're either going to do good or you're not. I don't care if you're first round through 7th round or undrafted, right? It doesn't matter. The kid's going to get a shot. He's either going to do good or bad. It is what it is. Like, why do we got to keep talking about the same kid over and over again? Like, let the kid live. Like, leave him alone. Who cares? That's all we're talking about. Literally, the last night, as soon as the storyline after the draft, the story, we all know, the announcer's like, we all know what the storyline's going to be. Who cares?
Who cares?
The kid was 13 and 12 at Colorado, 1-7 versus ranked. Who cares? Like, he's going to get a shot. He did well. Like,
especially
he did well
when
there.
Jaxson is getting drafted as the quarterback, the number 2 quarterback in this draft. And I was curious, because Jaxson had a great pre-draft process. He was the best quarterback at the Senior Bowl, had probably the best performance at the Combine, had a great Ole Miss Pro Day, met one-on-one with the Saints. The Giants were represented. Kevin Stefanski from the Browns was there. So Jaxson going in the first round is not a surprise at all. I'm curious, though, of this quarterback class, because we've seen it with other Ole Miss Rebels. You talked about fit. Matt Corral goes to the Panthers in the 3rd round when he comes out and immediately gets injured. They fall apart, draft Bryce Young at number 1 overall, and now he's in the UFL. Same thing with a number of other players that come out of Ole Miss, and maybe the fit just isn't great, and they get washed out. With Jaxson, obviously, there's more capital because he's a first-round pick. He's probably going to get all the way to his. Yep. He's got a guaranteed 5 years with the 5-year rookie contracts. But of these quarterbacks and with this fit, who do you think has the best chance to be successful? Is it Jaxson? Do you think Jaxson is the safest, the highest floor? Kind of what is your just overall evaluation now that we know what the order is as far as how these teams view these quarterbacks?
It's hard to tell. I'm being dead serious. It's hard to know. I will say I do like Jaxson Dart's situation just because Dayball is such a good offensive mind. He's done well before in quarterback-friendly offenses. I think that's a good situation for him. And I also think that, just by having Russell Wilson in there, to me, his situation is by far the best. And the Giants are, they got some pieces to get, but they're not quite like the Titans. Titans are a little rough. So it's just hard to tell, man. That's just me being honest. I could sit here and make up some shit like a lot of these people do on TV. And, hey, so-and-so, they're going to regret not taking Shador Sanders. Who knows? We don't know if Shador Sanders can read a defense. We weren't in the meetings. We didn't sit there and go over, hey, here's cover 3 right here. What are we doing? And if we run the X, we don't know. You don't know. You're watching a kid throw in underwear or throw in games where you don't know the plays and know if he's even throwing to the right person or who he's even playing. We just don't know, man. It's all going to come down to who can grasp the offense that they're put in, who is put in good situations, who's got the pieces around them. You just don't know, man. It could be it could be Will Howard. I mean, that's the one to me that's the most mind-boggling in this whole deal. It's just, I don't know. I could say I would look like I had on red and blue glasses if I was going to go Dart. I like his situation the best. I like his mindset. I think the kid's actually really tough. I do think you look at the way he played the game and the way he, handles himself. Something about him, just a winner. You can always tell those kids, when you get in camp, you can always tell the guys are going to refuse to lose, even when shit gets tough. And he's kind of that way. And I've always felt that at Ole Miss, and I think if you remember back when we were first talking, when it was a Jaxson Dart and Luke Altmaier competition, what I was saying, I said the kid's got all the tools. He's by far, it's not even close. And I was saying at the time, he's got all the tools. I mean, he's got a big arm, can run, mobile enough. I think it's just going to be about the situation that you're put in. If you can understand the offense, understand NFL defenses are tough, man. Like, you got to be locked in. I think that's what scares a lot of people about Shador is, and I don't know him personally, so I don't know how locked in he is. I just know in the outside world how the media's perceived him is that he's, maybe not as locked in. So I don't know. But something went on in those interviews that was obviously didn't check out. And so that's just going to be the biggest thing, getting the right situation, who can actually grasp, who can handle failure. You look at Caleb Williams this year in Chicago, he had some rough games, and maybe he pans out, maybe he doesn't, but how do these guys respond when it gets really tough? Because it's going to get really tough, right? Your best players, some of your best players in college cannot make it in the NFL. Think about that. So you're talking about a whole nother level, a whole nother class of athlete that, you're not going to have time to run around back there and burp the baby. You're going to have to be able to drop back and dissect a blitz or a defense and know exactly where your hot and sights are and know when to throw the ball away. Know when to manage it. That's another thing. It's just like there's so many factors that go into it. It's hard to predict. It really is. You look at Trevor Lawrence, as you look at some of the guys that you thought were sure enough. I mean, they're struggling to make their way. Then you got a Brock Purdy. How many keep using him? Some little dude looks like he should be selling insurance. He's just dicing people, So, I'm telling you, it's the hardest thing to evaluate. A lot of people speak loudly about it, on TV. The different talking heads because that's their job. But who knows? I mean, I remember Josh Rosen when he got drafted. Hey, these 8 teams in front of me are going to regret it, buddy. Didn't work, right? Like.
Poor Josh Rosen, man.
Yeah, buddy, it's a real world out there. And guess what? Your hourglass has started as soon as that draft happens. It can only last a year if it's that bad. So, I mean, you look at, there's been a lot of guys 1 year and they're done with you. I mean, I don't know if Zach Wilson will ever get a chance to be a starting quarterback. So, it is a tough position, and it is a very, they don't give you a lot of time now. That's why I'm glad Dart is going to maybe have a season to see it. And you look at every guy that has done that, Love, Rodgers, the guys who have taken the time to become the starter and mature a little bit and not get in there and get their confidence shook, it works out. So it's tough. I mean, I could say I like Dart's situation the best. I think Cam Ward's got a ton of talent. I didn't love his film at Miami, but, I do like how big-bodied he is and how strong he plays. A lot like him and Dart are very similar, to be honest with you. I mean, they both get away from sacks. They can sling it. Just depending on which one of them grasps offense and get somebody around that loves them and can invest in them.
This is Talk of Champions. I've been Garrett. I'm in the RiverLand Roofing Studios. RiverLand Roofing powers everything we do here at Talk of Champions at the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com, and affiliate of On3. RiverlandRoofing.com, 662-644-4297. We're live right now on YouTube. We'll have the full show replay on the Ole Miss Spirit, omspirit.com, and affiliate of On3. Going to the comments, 6 String says, I hope Quinshon Judkins doesn't get drafted by the Giants. Bad karma. I want Quinshon Judkins to be a Dallas Cowboy by the end of today. If it's not going to be Travion Henderson, as the Cowboys Devin A. Chain. I want it to be Quinshon. Because I get the Cowboys. You don't question the Cowboys drafting linemen, but they drafted Tyler Booker 12 overall with a need at wide receiver 2, at running back, at corner. So Quinshon Judkins, yeah, that would be hilarious though if Jaxson and Quinshon ended up in the same backfield again, right? I mean, that'd be fun.
That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Man, there's some good value in the second round. I'm actually shocked. Amos didn't pop to the first round. I think he's one of our best players, to be honest with you. I see him going in the second round. I see Ivy having a chance to go in the second round. I think that
Princely
should go in. I mean, there's some good value in the second round still. Obviously, Judkins will go somewhere. But the running back position in general isn't what it used to be. It's just not, dude. Like they just don't buy him like they used to, and they get a short little shelf life. So he'll go somewhere. I think he's the second best running back on Ohio State. So I would guess the other guy would probably go first before him.
In the other comments on YouTube, and again, check out the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, and a Food of On 3. Sign up today for just $1. Brad's there. I'm there. Billy and Body's there doing all kinds of Ole Miss recruiting all day, every day. Jake Thompson, Chuck, the place to be. Just come hang out with us at the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com. In the comments, Tony Morse says, Big Brad, welcome back. Dirty Bird 37 says, dang, I missed so much, I'm sure, but welcome back, Brad. See? We've got to do this more. We got to get back to doing this.
Dude, I'm always available. I told you you should never ask me. I'm blaming you.
Well, no, you're like a busy man now. You're like top end salesman and stuff. You know what I mean? Like he's doing it from his office, making that bank down there. Tell him what you're doing.
Yeah, we sell manufactured homes. It's awesome. It's a good business to be in, man. You get to help families get in homes. You get buyers from all over. From all different ranges. You get the feel good stories of people that are needing a home. Desperately, you get to put them in a home. It's a good business to serve people, and I really enjoy it. Get to see put some smiles on some faces. And then you get the whole other side of it where people are buying 2 or 3 of these for their ranch out in Texas. So it's the best of both worlds. But man, I love that single mom that is looking for a house, and she just saved up or been saving up for 2 or 3 years, and you get her in a house and she's crying. So that's it's a good way to serve people, man. Or hell, you may get somebody's house burned to the ground, need something ASAP, homeless. So we get to serve people and get them in houses, and it's been a good business for me because I like the business side of it, doing deals, but I also like, I was raised in the manufactured home, so I like serving people and watching them, give them a smile on their face, when they get a chance to get in a home and something that they worked hard for. It's a hot business, man. I mean, we've sold, I think we sold 60 something the last 2 months. A lot of Mississippi lives in a manufactured home, a lot of Louisiana, a lot of Alabama. So, I mean, we stay slam packed busy, and these things are extremely nice. I mean, it's not your old, not the one I grew up in. I grew up in a tuna can. They are extremely nice now. They're nicer than most homes, to be honest with you, the way they're built. So, no, it's a cool business. I love it. We're at Regional Homes in Meridian.
Well, now that you're very busy all the time, can you do this once a week? Because if you can, we'll just go live every Friday morning.
I'm always available from my office. I stay down here. I bet I'm here every day till 5, 6 o'clock, man. We are slammed. We have been so busy over the last year that, or since I started here, that dude, I live in this office. I need a little cot in here, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, we got to get your studio set up. All right, fine. We'll go ahead and put it on the record live in front of God and everybody on YouTube and the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com. Next Friday at 9 again, we'll go live, you and me.
We're good. I'm always good.
I got a couple more questions before I let you go, though. Number one, of all of these draft-eligible Rebels, who are you most bullish on being a good NFL player? For me, that's Trey Amos.
I've been Ivy. I've been saying Ivy for a long time. I think he's one of those guys who will go somewhere second, third round. I think he'll play 9 or 10 years just based off his size, length. He just got the NFL mold. I think he's low-key a sleeper. I like him. I think Amos got a shot to be really good. I think Nolen is expected because the way, he's always been that dude. And I think he's going to be a good ball player. But I think a guy like Ivy, there's just something about him, man. He's always steady. I love his size. I've played with multiple guys like him that came in the second or third round, and you're like, I don't really know much about this kid, that he's just going to be really steady. He's got the body. He's really got the build for the NFL. I can just see him playing a long time, man. I think he can play 4-eye. I think you can put him a little bit outside. I think he can get big enough to play some inside. So I can just see that guy. If he doesn't get injured, I can see him playing a good 8 to 10 years.
What is the thing that most excites you about Ole Miss football right now? I know it's probably going to be Austin Simmons, but you haven't been talking to me. I went through a whole spring covering Ole Miss football, and you aren't here to talk about it. So, knowing that you're paying attention to, like you always will. Oh, Dirty Bird 37 says Bentley will have the best NFL career just to jab us. That'd be.
Oh man, I don't know. I'm over the Bentley thing. There was obviously something that we didn't see or something. I don't know.
Well, he did run a when he ran his 4.7 at Ole Miss Pro Day or whatever. I went, okay, I get it. But again, play speed and testing speed are different. In play speed, I just remember him running past everybody, running. When Ulysses that did the 70-yarder against State. You know what I mean? Like that's why I don't know. I get that he's not a good tester. Lane even said to me in his office, he was like, if you like the NFL scouts, that they don't even consider him the same kind of player anymore either. You should see him out there. He's a little step slower. Yeah, but also in the games, he's faster. So in a group of, I don't want to get back into this because Ole Miss has done a good job in the offseason of replenishing that room with Kejuan Lacey, with Damian Taylor now, the transfer from Troy. What do you most like about Ole Miss, or what do you think about Ole Miss football right now in terms of their contender status, what they could be with Austin Simmons, all that stuff, since you weren't here to talk to me about it, but you're going to be next Friday at 9 o'clock when we go live again.
Yeah, I think this season reminds us a lot of Jaxson Dart's first season where we got expectation, but we're just unsure. You know what I mean? We got all these new faces. We don't know what a new quarterback's going to look like. We're excited about him, but we've also not seen him take snaps in a big SEC stadium with flying bullets yet either. Now we did see him, obviously the short stint versus Georgia looked pretty good, and that had me super excited. But it reminds me a lot of Dart.
Calm down. When you say super excited, it sounds a little, you're a little freaky, Brad. Calm down.
I think it's back to like Jaxson Dart's first year where we have a lot of talent. Obviously, we brought in some portal people. I think that I think this year if he comes out and we go win 9 or 10 games, I think you're super excited. More so than you were the previous year because you expected a damn national championship, and I still think we're the only team that could have competed with Ohio State. But don't get me started right there. But
I agree with you. And I get called the Kool-Aid man. You know what I mean? You're my fellow Kool-Aid man.
As much as I love that Kentucky kid last night, the DB, who was by far my favorite player, this is his energy. I hate Kentucky.
It was funny because TJ Daugherty, Ole Miss linebacker, is going to start doing a podcast for us, and we actually got together to kind of plan some stuff on Wednesday. The first one's coming out next week, and I said, like, at the end of this conversation, we were kind of doing a test run of what it would look like, and I asked him straight up, I was like, all right, when do you think we lost the playoff? And he went, well, Florida, because it's late in the season, but all they could talk about was how shitty the Kentucky game was.
God, man.
That's the one. That's the one.
I hate Kentucky so much. I hate them so much.
Lost to a real estate agent at quarterback. Ridiculous plays made. There were push-offs, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, that Kentucky game.
It's really that one D lineman's getting drafted, right? Like, I can't wait on his name to get called in the first 15 picks because he sure looked like it that day.
I think that's more of an indictment on Ole Miss's offensive line that day, and it wasn't great all year. All right, so I'm bullish on Trey Amos. You said Walter's probably safe or whatever. You love J.I. Is there anybody that could be undrafted, toward the end? Trey Washington comes to mind. Jordan Watkins comes to mind. Hell, Juice Wells comes to mind. Any guys like that you think could stick on a roster? A.J. Finley's a good example of this.
Yeah.
Dean Leonard. Yeah,
It's typically that DB. There's typically somebody in the secondary, Mike Hilton type guys that are long length, got a little length on them. They end up doing well. You look at Cassius Vaughn type guys. Remember, like nobody was saying Cassius Vaughn played a long time. Guys like that, it's going to be a DB. It's always some DB that's really good on special teams and good enough to cover some that are going to last long. But I think a guy like Watkins could give some value somewhere. And I also think Juice Wells got the talent to be a first rounder. Let's be real.
You talk about guys that really disappointed last year. Juice is up there for me, because he could have really helped them if what they got out of the Gator Bowl was what they'd gotten all year. Oh my gosh.
I wish he would have came back. I think had he came back and was all in and did his thing, I don't know if injuries messed with him early on or what, but I think another year could have. Let's face it, he's going to get a good amount of money to come back, right? So it's not like you're going to. You're going to make more coming. He would have made more coming back probably than what he's going to make right now after this draft. But I think he comes back and plays like he did that last game, I think you're easily, he gets in the conversation pretty good. But he's got the talent, so you got to take your chances. Give me a shot, give a shot, and maybe it works out. But he's one of those guys who, like Malik Heath type guy, who you're like probably. Then all of a sudden he goes there and his talent starts popping out, and you're like, okay, Malik Heath's gonna play in the NFL a while. Juice Wells could probably be the same way. I think we got a lot of sleepers, man. I think this is a really talented team, and it's going to make me pissed off thinking about it. That we went to the Citrus Bowl, but
no, the Gator Bowl.
Oh, Gator, whatever it's called.
We didn't even get to go to Disney World.
Yeah, one of those bowls. But thank God, this team was pretty loaded. I don't. Oh God, 9-3 with this team is tough.
I'm trying to get you fired up this morning. I think I've gotten pretty close. And Dirty Bird 37 surprised Will Johnson from Michigan, the cornerback. Star cornerback is still on the board. I hope he lasts to 44 so the Cowboys can draft another good cornerback. But, yeah, that's one that's kind of surprising. Trey Harris, I think, has a real chance. Is probably going to go today. Maybe not the second. I hope it's the second. Could be the third. But that range that A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf were in, but like DK was the very last pick of the second round or the third round. I can't remember. But A.J. was a second rounder. And I think Trey's kind of in line for that same thing. Before we jump off of our first live, which started so rough because I had no idea what I was doing, Brad couldn't get his screen working. We're going to get it all set up before our next Friday live when we'll have everything rolling. Since Brad and I just threw this together, you're the Ole Miss baseball guy. All right. You and I, we walked through the 2022 national championship together. We did show after show, experience after experience. Back-to-back losing seasons. Ole Miss climbs as high as number 6 this year. It's been a little bit of a struggle lately. Got the win over Mississippi State in Pearl in the Governor's Cup. Sell me or fire me up, Mr. Kool-Aid Man, like we were back in 2022, 3 years ago. Fire me up about Ole Miss baseball, or tell me that you're freaking out just like a lot of people are.
No, I'm right in the middle. I'm right down the middle with them. I'm just glad that we're not like we were the last 2 years. But here's the thing about this team, though, that I think is a little different, is just when you think, oh, here we go again, they're about to suck. Like they got a little fight in them. Like this ain't a bad Ole Miss baseball team. It's not the best one we've ever had. I think this is one that makes a regional this year. It's probably a 2 or 3 seed, I would guess, maybe. We got to finish out the SEC. But we've been, I mean, you look at our games, man. Like we've been pretty dang. We could have took it from Tennessee. Like we've beaten some good teams. Like this isn't we've gotten lucky. Like we've been pretty competitive in the SEC. Now, the South Carolina series, if you win that one, I think we're in a better headspace. But we've had in Arkansas, we had them beat in that series. So it's not a bad Ole Miss baseball team. It's not the best one we ever had. I wish we had about 3 or 4 more players to add to it.
Liam Doyle and Andrew Fisher would be great for this team.
Yeah, yeah. If those guys would stay, we'd be in business for sure. But I think that I think it's one that could get hot and do okay. I don't think it's one that's going to go super far, but I also don't think it's trash like it was. Now we could completely flip the script down the end and be trash, but hell, we got to win an SEC record. Yeah. So it could be a lot worse, man.
This time last year, it was already in the tank.
Now we're competitive. We should get a regional. If we were to pick a time to get hot and get back rolling, it'd be now. We got a great series coming up versus Vandy. That'll be a good test for us. But no, this team can beat anybody. We've already proven it. I mean, we beat Tennessee. We've had Arkansas on the damn ropes. Really should have won that series. So it's not. I don't think it's like it was. I think it's getting better. I think. I guess there's a national championship curse because everybody. I guess we win that. Hell, even LSU when they won a national championship, they struggled the year after. So. I think we're getting back on the right track. I mean, I don't know how we can't shore up some pitching though. Like this is Ole Miss when we were coming up always had. If you're winning a game 7-3 in the 8th inning, you can turn the damn TV off.
That's right.
Now if you tune back in, it may be 9-7 within 2 innings. It's unreal. I don't know if that's college baseball in general right now. It's such a hitter's game. I mean, the pitching used to be like. I mean, we used to always, if you're winning a ball game, you ain't got to worry about giving up 4 runs. There it's just crazy how it is now. But I think pitching wise, we got enough to do. I just don't think we got enough to go super deep with this team.
Well, it doesn't help when your best pitcher statistically and just consistently, efficiently for the season is still coming out of the bullpen at the end of April. I mean, Mason Morris needs to be starting.
Yeah, he needs to be starting. I would agree, but that it goes back to just like we talked about earlier. We're not with the kids every day.
You're right.
These guys know the kids, and I know a lot of people have their opinions, but when you're with the kid every day, and it's the same thing with the Bentley deal, right? When you're with the kid every day, you're seeing the whole scope of things. Maybe the kid don't want to be a starter. Maybe he's not comfortable yet. Maybe they're seeing some stuff that would make him struggle. I don't know, but
I appreciate the sentiment. I think it's just stubbornness, and I'll leave it at that. Right? I mean,
but think about, like, I guess you can say that, but to me, these coaches have been doing it a while. Why would they be that stubborn to not stick someone in there that should be in there? You know what I mean? Like do they want to? I guess Bianco's case, he don't care. He's probably got a year or two left, and he's getting his 13th check or whatever that is. But I don't know. I see it from both sides. I've been on the inside, I guess, and seen like everybody freaking out. This kid should be starting. In my head, I'm like, no, the kid doesn't even know how to freaking run right or left. No, he should not. So I've seen it both ways. So I don't know. I definitely would like to see him get a crack at it. Dude throws freaking 99 miles an hour, and it's pretty damn good. So I'm with you on that.
I don't get why he's not starting. And there's some other management, lineup construction, pitching staff decisions that you just go, I don't understand. I would love to hear an explanation, but it's Mike's team and it's for him to do. And but I do know that they've left a lot out there. You've already touched on the Arkansas series, as the South Carolina series was just ugh. But they left a lot out there, and I think most of their issues or their losses have been completely self-inflicted. So we'll see how it works out. But this has been my first run at a live show by myself without Billy and Body, who's in Paris, France right now with his wife and his son, Jack, having a wonderful family time. Obviously miss him operationally because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but we had to start somewhere, and we did it. We got through it. We're going to have Brad back, he says, next Friday at 9 a.m. again. Yeah, live 9 a.m. to talk about whatever's going on at Ole Miss. RiverLandRoofing.com. RiverLand Roofing powers everything we do here at Talk of Champions and at the Ole Miss Spirit, OleMissSpirit.com, affiliate of On3. All of you who are watching live right now, sign up at the Ole Miss Spirit if you haven't already. Join us for $1. Brad's there. I'm there. Billy and Body's there. Riverland's always putting up stuff there. College Corner's got a meet and greet with Austin Simmons they're talking about on the Ole Miss Spirit today. So come hang out with us for $1. Brad, it was so much fun. And thank you for actually responding to my text this time. And if you don't by this time next week, when we're supposed to do it again, I'll drive down there and take that 78 jersey off your wall and break it.
We got you, dude. We're on next Friday. We'll be talking some. Hopefully we'll be talking about that Ole Miss baseball sweep.
See, I appreciate the sentiment.
Oh, dude, a sweep though, a sweep of number 9 Vandy would get us on the right path.
It would. Again, I've been asking. You can't call for the Kool-Aid man, Ben, and then when the Kool-Aid is poured, say, never mind. So you know what? Fine. Brad's calling us Bradley Sowell.
Revs in 3 this weekend. Revs all 3 this weekend. Let's go.
Former Ole Miss offensive lineman, 8-year NFL veteran Bradley Sowell says calling a sweep of number 9 Vanderbilt this weekend for your Ole Miss baseball Rebels. That's all I heard. You know,
let's do it. I'm in. I'm all in for that one. I'm booking. I will book my Omaha hotel if we sweep them this weekend.
Oh, we're falling into the same stuff we always do.
Oh man, that's the feeling I have when you got DeLucia and other guys on the where it's that's how I feel inside. But what I'm actually having to deal with, my product ain't quite like it used to be. But we're getting there. We're getting back, baby.
Well, we're apparently going to see an Ole Miss sweep of Vanderbilt this weekend because Brad called it, and he'll be back to talk about it next Friday when we go live again here for me in the RiverLand Roofing Studios, for Brad in his office down there in Jackson. Check out Brad. Tell them again about where you're working and how they can find your stuff.
Regional Homes and Meridian. Give me a shout. Any housing needs, whatever. Give me a shout. Need land, need anything. We can do land and home packages. We can do everything. So any referrals, obviously our company pays a big referral fee. So send anybody you got, and tell me that you sent them, and we'll get you fixed up, man. It's a great business to be in. We're getting people in homes.
Good man. Thank you for doing this. If the Rebels do sweep this weekend, the first person you're going to hear from is me. Because I'm like, of course.
Wait till we win that. We win Friday night 8-0, then we win Saturday in a walk-off. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one.
Don't tease me with a good time. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you, my friend. We'll do it again next week.
See you, Ben. Howdy, toddy.
Oh.